What's going on, everyone? This is Crops, aka Beast Beats, and today I want to go ahead and go over side decking with goat decks, like against when you're doing either a match against meta or some off thing, like a alt win or different kind of deck, and just primarily meta, but just discuss, I guess the what decide, when decide, why decide. So www, what, when, why, on how to decide. So to kick things off, we'll just hop right into it. Honestly, we're gonna start with Chaos Turbo. Good old cookie cutter Chaos. Um, how do we side? So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not 100%. What's the word? I don't pilot this deck almost ever. I have before. I've won a tourney with a deck similar to this before, but I don't. I'm not like number one. Not Ivan Rizito of Turbo, right? But I'm gonna give it my shot, right? Again, this is just what I would do. Siding is very player dependent. Depends kind of how you want to play, what you're siding. Are you doing a smoke screen side? I don't have any smoke screen sides in these four decks that I'm about to go over. But if you're smoke screening, then that's a different story than conventional side decks such as this one. I also want to mention for siding, when you're siding for a real life event, one nice strategy or tip: put all 15 cards from your side deck into your main deck, and then I kind of do a shuffle and take 15 cards out. They'll have this way your opponent has no idea if you sided 0 or 15 cards against them. So that's a fun little strategy that I'd recommend. Just make sure you have 15 cards taken out, because you don't want to be playing with less or more than your deck count. So also, before we begin, or I'll do that at the end actually. Okay, so Chaos. This is the same deck that I went in on the video Monday. All of these four decks are the Chaos Turbo, the Warriors, the Panda Burn, and the Chaos Control. So for side decking, I have 5 cards here to kind of represent what matchup we're up against. So for the mirror match, if I'm, let's say, so let me put my head in. If I'm going against a Chaos Turbo mirror match, I want to be honest with you. I don't think I side too much in the mirror. I think the goal is to be faster than them, and at least in my head, my perspective, I want to keep up my speed for the most part. So people are like, oh, just side out upstart, side out jar, right? Like right away. I don't think that's always correct. If there's, again, time's getting close, maybe cards like upstart duo is a tough one, but I could see it being sided out, honestly, especially in the mirror. And then the judgments can be kind of costly, right? So yeah, just certain cards can get a little tricky with time. But let's say, time is not being close. There's plenty of time left. I'm siding for the mirror. So honestly, looking at this side deck, some things I probably could consider. I'm not a huge fan of Mobius. It can be really good, I guess, in the mirror, right? If you have like a judgment to protect it, and then they try to judgment Mobius, you judgment their judgment, then you can pop up to 2 or more, or up to 2 other spell traps on their field. But let's see, possibly the Reaper, but more so what I'm going to look at, the Mind Control, and then maybe the Torrential. I think the Mind Control, I'm taking out the Book. I'm not a huge fan of Book in the mirror. It's not that bad of a card, but I probably swap the Book out for the Mind Control. And then I probably could see putting Torrential in. I think Torrential is probably better than Mirror Force in the mirror. So I probably take out Mirror Force, put in Torrential. And with this side deck, that's probably all I honestly do. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely don't want battle traps, really. Swords, again, if time's getting close, but this is if we have plenty of time left. This is just for the burn, really. Well, these two. This is for Chaos Control. Oh, I'm saying what it's all for. Let's just, next deck, Warriors. So yeah, Mirror, again, probably just Mindcon Torrential for the Book and the Mirror. Or like you could take out, if you want to keep Mirror Force in, I could understand taking out like one jar for Torrential. So you have the Trinity, right? The Trap Trinity, Ring, Torrential Mirror. And then, yeah, again, probably the book out. Again, I want to blame you for keeping it in, but that's just probably what I would do. Now for the Warrior matchup. So this one is one of our tougher matchups in the sense that their deck's kind of built to counter Turbo, right? So I could see taking out like some of the flips, like a Faith and a Deco or two Decos or something, and putting in like Reaper and Berserk Gorilla. Again, you could put in Mobius. I probably wouldn't. Again, I don't think I necessarily would, but you could, because I mean you are putting in. I'd probably, again, I say you. This is what I'm doing. I'm putting in probably a second Reaper in the Berserk Gorilla. I probably also want the swords and the 3 Sakus and the widespread. So I'm taking out the 2 Nox most likely for like swords widespread to get the 3 Sakus in. I could see if you're going first, I might keep a book in. If I'm going second, I'm probably taking out like the book and like 2 jars for 3 Sakus. Boom, and that's side decking for Warrior. Spy's still really good against Warrior usually, so I'm keeping that in. And you don't really want to take any of this Chaos stuff out because that's your win condition, honestly. Yeah, that's probably how I'm siding. Definitely, yeah, taking these out, which gives Warriors the opportunity to put in flips, and that has been happening. But it is what it is. Not all Warrior players will do that, so I don't necessarily want to. Oh, I'm going to keep these in for when they side in their 2 flip monsters. It's like, I don't know, it doesn't seem that good. Yeah, that's probably how I'm siding for the Warrior matchup. And then for the Chaos Control matchup, which is what this card represents, I'm probably siding Ashura Priest for sure. I want this. That might be the only monster I want in, is the Ashura Priest. I probably will take out, possibly the Reaper, or a Deco. Probably like a Deco or a Reaper or something for the Ashura. And then, what else? I want the second book. I know that. And I want the Token Thanksgiving, probably. And possibly Torrential. So for the second book, I could see taking out... Man, I keep going to these jars. I think they're... I don't want to call them placeholders, because that's not necessarily what they are. But yeah, it's probably taking out the 2 jars for a second book. Like possibly Torrential, just because all the like goat tokens, whatnot, and Thousand Eyes. And did I say? Oh, I said Token Thanksgiving, right? Also for the. Oh man, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think you even need to put this in. I guess if you wanted to for this case, man, maybe another monster. I don't know if I want to go. You could go, below. You could go to 19 monsters. That wouldn't be that bad. Probably like a Reaper and a Deco, because I think I took out one for the Ashura, take out another for the Token Thanksgiving if you want it. But honestly, probably just the the Ashura, the second book, maybe the Minecon, depending on how many flips you see, and then again possibly the Torrential. That's probably how I'm kind of siding for the Chaos Control. I guess, yeah, I don't know. In theory, if we saw main deck Decree though, that would definitely, likely change my decision. I probably would put in like the book, the Minecon, the Token Thanksgiving, the swords, just to get off some of these trap cards. If all I saw was like main deck Decree especially, then these traps get a bit worse. But it's not like you don't have any answers to Decree. But so that's Chaos Control, kind of how I go about it with this deck. For Panda Burn, this one is this is an easy one. You put in the Mobius. You put in the 2 walks and the Thanksgiving, and I'd probably put in. You could maybe put in the swords, but I definitely probably put in all the battle traps, and the Torrential. Yeah, you put in these 5. You take out the 3 judgments. I think honestly, you take out 2 jars, you take out 3 judgments. You put in Torrential widespread 3 Sakus to get the 2 walks, the Thanksgiving. in, let's see. You could honestly probably take out. No, I kind of like, man, Wind Blast isn't as good as Regeki Break in that matchup, but the fact you discard a card could actually be good. How are we putting these walks and Thanksgiving in? I don't really want to take out, like Upstart. And if we're going second, I could see taking out Duo. I could see taking, I mean, depending how many flips, I could see taking out a knock. I don't necessarily like doing that, though, because being able to knock the jars can be pretty crucial. I take out a Spy. Yeah, wait, I'm not putting any of these monsters in. Oh, well, the Mobius. Take out a Spy for a Mobius. I know that seems strange, but I don't want to get Ojama locked, and if they attack a Spy, that's a prime. Oh, sorry, take out the Reaper against Pandaver. Well, yeah, take out the Reaper from Mobius. I will still probably take out a Spy, go down to 19 monsters. That should be fine to put in, like the Thanksgiving, and then, yeah, the 2 walks. What have I not? I think I'm missing 1 card to get the walk in. Let's see. The other card, probably like Dekoichi, maybe a Suk. Yeah, either Suk or a Deco for like the second walk. I hope I accounted for all the cards, but yeah, that's kind of how I probably saw it against Pandaver. You want the walks, you want the Mobius, and I like going into battle traps because they can tend to get even more aggro game 2, like citing Haiku, things like that. So that's how I would side against Burn, against Reasoning. So the thing about Reasoning, like Steingate, like alt wins also, right? Empty Jar, Library. I mean, let's see. Reasoning Gate, you could do definitely the Ashura, possibly the Reaper, the Swords. Again, like a Token Thanksgiving, just hit all the goat tokens. And you could, if you wanted, put in like additional battle traps or a torrential. But I'm not going to talk too much about Reasoning / Steingate. I'm actually going to link a video in the description. Shout out to Mangoes Really Suck. This is what I was going to mention at the start. He recently uploaded a video about side decking with Reasoning Gate, mostly the Dimension Fusion version. But I will link his channel in the description. The video which takes you to his channel. So if you're curious about how to side against this deck, more about how to, things like Threaten Aurora are good, Cursed Seal, stuff like that. But that will be in the description below. So if you want to know if that's a problematic matchup for you, check out Mangoes Really Sucks video on it. So that's Turbo. Oh, the last thing I'll mention, things to make against Turbo. So now we're playing against Turbo. King Dragoon's really good against Turbo. Ryu Senshi can be pretty solid, stopping all these normal traps right here. It can't be booked or snatched either, which is nice. Darkblade, just be careful if you don't. I would probably make Ryu before Darkblade if they have back row. Then Fiend Skull is a cool one. Can't be targeted by Ring or Wind Blast or Sakuretsu's. Negates all flip effect monsters, so that's pretty solid. And then Dark Bolter can be really good too, in the sense if it destroys, like a Deco or a Faith or a Serpent or Sangan and negates it, the Serpent can't come back. And also being able to negate all the power spells right here by paying 1,000 could be pretty nice. The only thing about difference between these two, of course, one for targeting traps, one for normal spells. Both of these can be snatch, stole, but if they have a set Spy and you attack it with Fiend Skull, then they don't get the other Spy. If you attack with Dark Bolter, they do get the other Spy, unless you somehow boosted your Dark Bolter to above 2,000 attack. Then Ojama King. One funny thing with this card against Turbo, say you attack into their Spy, they get the second Spy, and then you Ojama King them. Now they can't summon or set any other monsters. So they're only outs. Well, okay, sorry. I guess I should also mention, if you have a Decree, because they do have a good amount of trap outs to it. Well, like Rings, Wind Blaster, Regeki Break kind of cards. But yeah, if you have Ojama King plus Decree, and they got their 2 Spies and 3 unusable zones, like their outs become book, like book knock, but they really only need the book to unlock the zones. Heavy MST for the decree to use one of these, like ring or blast for Geki Break, or else they're just kind of locked out of the game for a while. So that's just something I thought about recently. So that's it for side decking with Turbo. Now, side decking with Chaos Control. So I do know this deck a bit better. So for the mirror match, if I'm going against the mirror with Chaos Control, I like the Ashura Priest. I like the second Tsukiyomi. You could do Kaiku, but likely I'm not going to do Kaiku. I do like the Token Thanksgiving. So like if it's a similar deck to like mine, or if they're like on Decree, things like that, I'm probably starting in those 3 cards. 3 cards I'm taking out in the control mirror. Again, if I saw Decree, I potentially could take out. Honestly, I'd like go down to just like ring torrential kind of thing. Take out like mirror 2 breaks. Put in the Thanksgiving, the Tsukiyomi and Ashura Priest. It does put us to 21 monsters. I don't think that's the end of the world, though. Alternatively, if I don't see main deck Decree, or if I just kind of want to keep the 5 trap lineup, side decking wise, I could see, because you are putting in like a second Tsukiyomi and Ashura, you could take out, like, I probably wouldn't take out the one Kaiku, but you could take that out. You could take out like Reaper or Tomato. I do kind of like still having these, but you could take those 2 out. Or you could take out like the Mimic 1 and or 3, and go into like a couple more Spirit guys that do really good in the when you're facing like things like decks that also have like Thousand Eyes or Strict and whatnot. I would definitely don't put in things like Swap in that matchup because of their own goats, and they likely have like floaters as we do in Chaos Control. So yeah, that's for the mirror. For Turbo, this represents Turbo. When we're going against Turbo with Chaos Control, how am I side decking? Well, I could see possibly the Nidoriya, but I likely don't. Definitely Kaiku. The second Kaiku. We can easily take out something like. No, I like one Sook still because we were on our own Thousand Eyes. Either like one of the mimics, probably like the either like the level 3 or like Tomato or Reaper. I could see taking that out for a second Kaiku. I do like Mind Control against Turbo. I could see taking out a book. Yeah, easy swap there. One of the books for the Mind Control. You could put in Swap. I could see taking out either the second book, but I'd possibly keep one book in. And the Soul Release. Before I even mention Swap, I definitely want to mention Soul Release and Decrees. So if you can do like a Soul Release, Decrees, take out like the Mirror and the 2 Regeki breaks for the Decree. Just keep like Ring Torrential. And then for the Token Thanksgiving, something has got. Oh, sorry, not for the Soul Release. For the Soul Release, let's see. Probably an Upstart. Like I don't think I want to try to race Turbo. They're likely winning that already. So yeah, probably an Upstart for the Soul Release. This card is just, if you get 5 like primarily monster and spells out of their grave, that can be pretty big. So something like that is probably what I would do. And then for Warrior, so this matchup, I like possibly a second Tsukiyomi, but definitely a Berserk and Nidoriya can come in. And I'm likely taking out the level 1 and possibly 3. Yeah, I could see like taking out 1 and 3 against Warrior to put in Berserk and Nidoriya. And then also, it's for spells, the swap and the swords. I like these against warrior. It's an easy take out the 2 knocks, put in the swap and the swords, and then likely we can go to decree against warrior. So probably taking out like the 2 Regeki break. And I might still keep the whole trap, probably the whole trap trinity against warrior. So that just taking out like the 2 break, and for the 3rd decree, either a book or an upstart, or if you wanted to go down to 18 monsters, you could. I probably wouldn't want to do that. So probably, yeah, probably like an upstart or a book for the 3rd decree. And that's for warrior. For panda burn, this matchup can be difficult for this deck. First things first, I'm putting in the Karibo, and I could see putting in for sure the Mobius, maybe the Nidoria, but yeah, the Karibo and the Mobius are going in. I'm taking out the Reaper for probably for Karibo, and for the Mobius, I could see taking out. Let's see. I could see taking out like Tomato or Kaiku. Yeah. I like kind of like actually, yeah, I like this because it's actually a 1,000 level 3 that can just poke in, kind of like poking in with Sangan under the level limit gravity bind. So probably either Kaiku or Tomato and Reaper for the Kribo and the Mobius. And then for spell wise, we're taking out the 2 goats, I'll tell you that. And we're actually putting in swap and swords. Oh, well, we're putting in, yeah, it's probably swap and swords, because swapping them like an Ojama token in attack mode is nice. And then swords is really good because they tend to get pretty aggro. And then taking out for token Thanksgiving, I could see taking out, let's see, spell-wise, either like a book, but it could be good to have the defense. Again, duo if you're going second, maybe. And then maybe like an upstart is a possibility. And then 3 decrees. Regeki break it can be good, so it's kind of tricky. All these traps can be good against it. So, but it's like if you're not putting in decree against Panda Burn, I mean you could easily put decree in against the Turbo matchup or the Warrior matchup. You don't have to put decree in against the Panda Burn matchup. If you wanted to, it'd be tricky to decide like what traps I'd want to take out, but probably like Torrential is just so good. Mirror also, but I mean Mirrors probably would have to go if I'm putting in Decree, and then maybe the Turageki break, even though I do like that card against Panda Burn. So yeah, that's a tricky one. I didn't have to think about that recently. Again, I'm like one of the only ones here in Austin that plays Panda Burn for the most part. So studying against the matchup, I might be a little rusty on, but I hopefully have enough of a general idea. And then again, for reasoning and the video in the description, but for alt win, I mean Karibo is still against that deck too. I like Karibo, Ashura Priest, probably Nidoria, like a second Kaiku, swap, sword, not swap for reasoning, but because of the goats, right? But swords and token Thanksgiving, and you don't need decrees in that matchup. So, or things like Empty Jar Library. Empty Jar Library, Minecon, Mobius, Berserk. I don't know. Like, yeah, we don't have much for alt wins, do we? But so that's kind of how I would side Chaos Control. On to how I would side playing Panda Burn. So for the mirror, that's a pretty simple one. I could in some ways see putting level 2 in, but I'm putting in MST. If I'm going first, I'm putting in Duo. I'm putting in Mass Driver. I'm putting in United We Stand. And I could see putting in Mirror. And I'm putting in the wheels. So how am I doing that? So I'm probably taking out either a rat or koala. If you want to get the probably like a koala, but a koala can be good with like Trunade plays. Maybe a rat for the level 2 if you want to get that in. To get the MST in, I'm taking out a book for MST. Probably just go down to 1 book in the mirror. And then again, if you're going first, I could see Duo being put in. I'm probably taking out, I could see possibly taking out the Ceasefire. Like for Duo. For Mass Driver United, we're taking out level limits. We don't need these. And then I'm taking out the Gravity Binds for Nightmare Wheel. If you want like the 3rd Nightmare Wheel and Mirror Force in for the mirror, I kind of I like keeping my burn cards, but Barrel is probably the worst one since they're also can be a low resource deck. Same with like Warrior. Barrel tends to be. Oh, but we'll do that in a second. Yeah, for the mirror. Yeah, I would think you always keep jars in, just because of how much these can swing the game. Of course, you could always swing it in your opponent's favor, but I don't know. I feel like the mirror can be kind of a coin toss, honestly. The mirror is a tricky one to navigate, but definitely you want things like Mass Driver, you want things like United, you want wheels over like the level limits and Gravity Binds, because those don't tend to do as much. Mirror Force can catch someone off guard. Duo, again, a little tricky, but I understand it. I like MST because you can end phase hit something, and then I like possibly level 2 if they're especially on like things like Stealth Bird or a lot of like flip flop or set monsters, just to get in and clear it. Yeah, that's kind of how I would probably navigate the mirror. Navigating the Chaos Turbo side of things. Probably I always put this level 2 in, I'll tell you that. Usually I could see myself taking out either like a Desk Koala or a Rat to put in the level 2. Also against Turbo, I tend to put in MST just because they still tend to have like probably discard traps you can try to end phase hit. I'm taking out a book for the MST. And then again, going first, I could see putting in Duo. If you wanted to do that, it'd be a little tricky. You don't necessarily need swords in that matchup. The 2 Minecon, I like swords, but I guess in Turbo you might not need that card, honestly. I definitely want the 2 Mind Control. So, yeah, for 2 Mind Control, probably taking out like, yeah, I could see taking out both books and the swords for the Turbo and putting in like Duo 2 Minecon. If you're going second, I don't put in Duo though. I'll probably just go, oh yeah, like MST 2 Minecon. Yeah, going first, maybe you do like Duo 2 Minecon. Going second, maybe like MST 2 Minecon. I don't know, that's kind of what I would kind of consider to do. And then also for Turbo, I want the Judgment. To get that Judgment in there, I could see taking out. Man, Ceasefire is not too bad against Turbo. I kind of like it. I could see taking out. I don't really want to take out one of these because Turbo. If they're playing really well, right, like discarding Thunder Dragon, right? Thunder Dragon add 1, Thunder Dragon add 1, Thunder Dragon fail to find, or keeping just 1 in hand. I could see taking out like a Barrel for a Judgment just to stop like the Walk or Thanksgiving Mobius Heavy, those kind of cards. That's honestly why I'm considering even starting like a second Judgment or getting a second Judgment in the side deck. Warrior. This one's not too hard to think about either. Get the 2 Kinetic. I usually could likely take out the 2 Desk Koalas against Warrior for 2 Kinetics. That's an easy swap. I could see getting an MST against warrior. And then I could see, again, like duo going first. Probably take out like a book for like one of those two. Maybe like, yeah, going second, MST over book, going first, duo over book kind of thing. And then I like Mirror Force and 3 Nightmare Wheel against warrior. I tend to take out the gravity binds. I know it's good against them, but like Cliff, level 2, those kind of guys, you just can't stop with bind. And if they do some crazy thing like put in decree, then these just get worse. I mean, not that these, it's kind of, they both get turned off, but at least we're definitely not taking this out against warrior, because even though it doesn't stop Cliff for level 2, it stops all their other Sasuke, Blade Knight, Warrior Lady, BLS, all that. We want to keep that at bay, I feel. But yeah, I definitely want the 3 wheels and like the mirror in. I'm probably taking out, honestly, I could see taking out anywhere between 1 to 3 barrels. And like, I could see like 2 gravity bind, 2 barrels, and a ceasefire taken out for like mirror, 3 wheels, and a judgment or something. I could honestly see a line, doing something like that. Puri, if you're watching, at this point, go ahead and correct me if that's awful, but I could see doing something like that against warrior, just because it's all these matchups are different, and that's why you have different options in the side deck to accommodate for. Like you'll notice, we've touched on I think every single card in the side deck. Yeah, we have for mirror, turbo, warrior, and now we're on to chaos control. Chaos control, especially if they're on decree, is a bit of a tricky one to navigate. We do already have heavy 3 true nades and a breaker in the main, so I mean it's not like we have 0 outs to decree. We are respecting decree. So against chaos control, depending how many sets or flips you could put in level 2, probably again over like a Desqualo or a Rat or something. So Panda is really good, right? If I've had some chaos control players, not many, but keep like Scapegoat in, and that was a fatal mistake. I would not recommend doing that if you're. When I went over the chaos control high side against Burn, I did, like I said, take out the 2 goats, 2 or 3 goats, however many, 1 to 3, however many you're on, take them out, because this card will be the end of your life. Let's see. So, but yeah, okay, back into siding for chaos control. I'm putting in this book, I'll tell you that. I'll go to 3 books for that matchup. I'm taking out. Honestly, I'm probably taking out. Again, I'm taking out the gravity binds probably against control, because like especially Thousand Eyes and Decree. I'm taking out the binds. I'm putting in a 3rd book. I'm putting in MST. If you want to get duo in going first, let's see. You can maybe just go with 2 books, but I could see taking out like Swords, another matchup I don't think you necessarily need this card for. So I could see taking that out for like a duo and going first. If you want mind controls, if they have a lot of flips, depends. I probably don't put that in against control though. You could. I'm probably getting in. I don't want any of these traps. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm probably taking out. Yeah, I think I said I'm taking out the binds, and then I could see taking out like ceasefire maybe for like a mind control or something, just to lower the trap count. But we want to keep, I feel, all this against them, because even though they have decree, again we're putting in the MST. We have breaker, heavy, 3 true nades, and you just have to use your cards in a way to not lose the decree. I mean, you can't always, right? But do your best not to lose to the decree, because you gotta be aware that it is likely there in the chaos control matchup, especially possibly like games 2 and 3. Then again, like reasoning, like alt win stuff. Let's see. Again, we'll check the video in the description for that. But if I'm playing against reasoning or Steingate with this deck, duo for sure going first is coming in. I can take out heavy. That's an easy takeout. I want to keep either 2 or 3 Chune probably still. Just again, for their decree that could come in. But yeah, I'm taking out heavy for duo. You probably going first or second against Reasoning Gate. You want to hit their combo pieces. I could see taking out the 2 books for the 2 Mind Cons maybe, just to try and like take a BLS or Soric and banish it or something. Let's see. I like the Floodgates against that deck. If you want it, I could see like if it's a Dimension Fusion, Ceasefire can get a lot of damage possibly, but I don't know. Probably taken out. No, I think you probably keep all your burn stuff in, because it is if it's Dimension Fusion or Stein, they're paying a lot of life points, and you gotta try to survive. So like if you're starting Threatening Roars, those come in. In my case, Judgment's probably coming in instead of, like, if you didn't take out the books already, or like one of the 3 True Nades probably comes out for a Judgment. Yeah, that's probably how I'm navigating Reasoning. You definitely have an advantage, I'd say, depending on how crazy they open. As long as they don't, things like Jinzo. Actually, yeah, maybe we do keep some amount of books in for Jinzo. Of course, we do have, Lily exiled. Rat to tutor them for Jinzo. I will also mention, though, of course, this is good against Jinzo. Ojama Trio is awkward against them, right, because of Monster Gate. But I still think that you want to, especially doing this, like chaining this to a Dimension Fusion or something, like I think you want to clog their board, even if they are able to Monster Gate it. It's just a matter of timing, right? Trying to maybe even hold it, or get a lot of burn damage in, because it gives them 3 tokens for this does 1500 extra, this does 600 extra. Like just racking up that damage against a deck that tends to pay a lot of life points, I feel is pretty important. And let's see. Yeah, so that was those decks for playing Burn, or now piloting Warrior. So for playing Warrior, how am I siding for the mirror? Again, this deck's pretty similar based off of SDL Killers. I believe it was GFC 17 first place deck list. How am I playing against or siding for the mirror? So one thing I do, I'm definitely putting in the Berserk, and I'm taking out level 2 and I'm putting in Berserk, and that's probably all I'm doing for the mirror. If you don't want like Cliff or Dawn, like kind of thing, I could see then put in like a 3rd Sasuke or whatever other, like another beater from the side. I'm putting in the 2 smashings for the 2 knocks. I'm probably putting in swords, maybe over book. Yeah, possibly swords for book. But 1 book's not too bad in the mirror necessarily. You don't have to, but definitely like the 2 knocks for the 2. Swap the 2 knocks for the 2 smashings. Then like more dust tornadoes and battle traps. Probably if I'm going second, I could see taking out the Zing for like another dust. And then I could see taking out like Call. And let's see. Going second, maybe you could take out Duo, but I don't know, that's kind of a tricky one. Yeah, you could take that out if you wanted. To get in, yeah, second and third. I like the Call, the Duo for second and third, like battle trap. 6 battle traps is a lot, though. I honestly would probably change this deck a little. Looking at it, I don't know if I'd go. I mean, I would side in 6 all of the battle traps if it's the mirror, but I just don't know how I feel about playing 6 battle traps. That's kind of wild, but I mean, it could definitely work. That's for sure. Because if it's the mirror and your opponent can't stick a monster, you lose in the game. So for Turbo, the 3rd Sasuke, the 2nd level 2, I'm taking out the Cliff. I don't think that does enough, and probably the Dawn. I know people like Dawn a lot, but I don't know, against Turbo. I know that's taking out the Dark Searchable Warriors, but it's Turbo. That's probably the move, taking out the Dawn and the Cliff for a 3rd Sasuke and a 2nd level 2, which you probably don't even need 3 Sasuke, honestly, but just again for this particular list, I think that's what I would do. Let's see. Don't really need these spells. Maybe a smashing instead of book, but I could see just keeping like one book. But yeah, either like smashing or swords for the book if you want to take that out. And then I wonder if we want. We definitely don't need any more battle traps. We could probably take out like widespread or a Saku, or like like a Saku and a widespread for double dust to go up to triple dust. Or the zinger could kind of depend. Take the zing and the widespread for double dust. Unless we're going first, then I don't know, going first or second, you could just keep this in. And again, yeah, take out a couple battle traps for second and third dust. That's probably how I would navigate turbo. For chaos control, the way I'm navigating, let's see. The 2 king tigers are coming in. And the Dawn's coming out. I could see Cliff and level 2 staying for the chaos control matchup, but the Dawn's coming out for King Tiger because that's, I don't want to have any clash there. And either like a Sasuke or a Kaiku, depending on what you see. Probably keeping all 3 Kaikus for chaos if you see like multiple Sork or like any amount of Sork. But yeah, probably like a Sasuke and a Dawn for 2 King Tigers. I could see something like that. The second book's coming in. We're taking out probably one of the battle traps again, like a Saku or a widespread for the second book. And the 2 smashings are coming in. Actually, yeah, especially Decree. We're probably taking out all 4 of these for book, 2 smashing. And we don't really need swords. So yeah, maybe it's just like just the 3 of them, like the 3 Saku for book, 2 smash, or the widespread and 2 Saku for the book, 2 smash. Something like that for the chaos control is probably what I would do. For Panda Burn, let's see. So going against Panda Burn, side deck wise, we're getting in the second level 2, and the 2 King Tigers, and the Mobius. Honestly, against Panda Burn, again, possibly taking out the Dawn, probably a Sasuke Dawn, and 2 Kaiku. I don't think you really need Kaiku against Panda Burn that much, so that's probably how I'm getting the level 2, the 2 King Tigers, and the Mobius in. Let's see. Swords could be considered. We're getting United in. You could take out like Book or maybe Duo, like one of those for United. And then we want the additional Dust Tornadoes. You could put in the additional battle traps, but to get the 2 dust in, again, maybe the Zing, or actually, yeah, I would take out at least 2, if not all 3 judgments, probably for that matchup for double dust. And like, if you take out like the Zing 3 judgments, you could put in like double dust, double widespread. Yeah, we got the United in. I could see getting Smashing Grounds in if you wanted, but it just depends on, I guess, what you see from the Panda player. That's probably how I'm siding, yeah, for the most part, against Panda Burn. And then again, reasoning, you check the video in the description for more details on that deck. But let's see, against reasoning, I'm getting the 2 King Tigers in, just for the sake of like the goats and Stein, right? Being able to stop that. I'm taking out the level 2, and I'm taking out the Cliff. That's easy for those 2. You can take out the double knocks or double smashings. You can put swords if you wanted, instead of maybe the book, but I don't mind keeping the book in necessarily. Then I could see taking out like the dust, like Dust Zing for 2 more widespread or something. And just at that point, just hope there's no Jinzo or Decree. But yeah, that's probably how I'd side deck. Oh, I forgot to talk about like the extra deck for the other 3 decks. I guess real quick, so when playing against Warrior, things like Thousand Eyes, is obviously really strong. King Dragoon, because shuts off their battle. It doesn't stop widespread actually, but it stops Saku's and Ring. And Exiled. Doesn't stop DD Warrior Lady though. BLS would have to attack because they want to be able to banish it. Let's see. Reaper on the Nightmare could be pretty good against Warrior. Honestly, obviously, like anything like Spirit Reaper like. Unless they have, unless it's in face of defense and they got the Sasuke. Ryu Senshi, just to stop all the normal trap cards that Warrior tends to play. And it can't be Book or Snatched, which is nice. It is only 2k though, which, they can trade with like a boosted Blade Knight. And the last Warrior, this card, I don't know, if Warrior can't summon monsters, I guess like this with a Decree against Warrior can be pretty devastating. Because it makes them have to have like Book or Snatch. Because then like they can only set monsters, and they don't tend to have flips, so you can just keep killing their monster that they set. So yeah. Of course, you won't be able to summon either, so I don't know what kind of clock, but they have low monster count typically in Warriors, right? Like around usually like 13 to 16. So let's see, yeah. Then Fusion's good against Panda Burn, things like Thousand Eyes, Dark Bolter, Ryu Senshi, Dark Flare Knight, because you don't take battle damage with battles involving that card. Gatling can clear like the tokens and empty the board, and then well, yeah, Turbo's a little different, or Chaos Control, I mean, is a little different. Let's see, I guess like Balter can be really good against this deck. Possibly like Ryu Senshi, King Dragoon, Last Warrior, Gatling. Yeah, some fusions I wanted to mention there. So, alright, this is, I'm sure, way too long again, or just long enough. That's kind of how I'd go about side decking. Again, the thing about side decking is it just depends on how you want to play it, and what your side deck is, and what the matchups are. So for Goat Grand Prix Fort Worth, Texas, who knows what the meta is going to be? I honestly don't even fully know. I have an idea, right? Like decks similar to the 4 here, but I'm sure there'll be a good amount of others, and it's just kind of being prepared and knowing the format to decide against decks besides these as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. If you want to come on down to Fort Worth, Texas this June 11th, we're going to have a Saturday event starting at 11 a.m. Central. Links will be in the description for that as well. Feel free to play some paper goats. That being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends, all that good stuff. And if you want, you can hit that bell. I just thought of that because I was like, what's a card I could have on the side here to get notified of whenever I upload, which will be tomorrow as well. Tomorrow's video will be what to bring for a real-life tournament. All right, until next time, bye.